Have you actually seen like the play Cats? Is this just like a direct rip from the play? Is the play this bad? Is I guess what I'm asking.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! This bad?
Depends. Yeah, yeah. You mean this accomplished? This bad
I
is a weird
think
way to say of this high quality, but yeah, there's
I
a lot of
think I'd rather
changes.
go bobbing for apples in a litter box than watch that again.
Yikes! Oh
I,
man,
I thought I was gonna be harsh on it.
and I've seen Sydney's litter box.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. Well, let's just get into it then. We're starting early. We just there's a big like let's get this over with kind of vibe already. I think. So I'll say, as you guys know, I don't know how to start the podcast, so it'll either be whatever we keep of that 20-ish seconds, or something along the lines of "Welcome to Late to the Movies." My name's Ben Holt, and this is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week, we'll pick a film that either I or a guest hadn't seen before, and really should have by now. This month, the premise is arguable. To talk us through the second episode of Catshog Month, an entire month where I wake up and have to watch Cats again. This week, we've got Noah.
Hey.
And we've got Robbie. I don't know what you said. Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. That was a perfectly placed meow.
Oh, I probably thought it was a real cat and like took it away because of the background noise, you know?
Yeah, it was probably such a good meow that it got gated by Discord's audio censor.
Oh, God.
So it's Cats again. This is the second ever movie that I've done more than one episode on. The first one, fittingly, was Groundhog Day. This one, less fittingly, is Cats, but it seemed like a good idea at the time, and I fully commit to bits. So here we go. Number 2. Excited to talk about it. Before we get there, though, have you guys seen anything good lately?
No.
No.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Yeah.
Or just watching a lot of bad content.
Yeah. Have you seen anything particularly notably bad lately, or notable in any direction?
Oh, me? No, I literally haven't turned my TV on in like a month and a half. I've been reading.
No,
This is the first time I turned my TV on, so.
That's an interesting way to break a streak. I mean,
go right back to reading it.
Just go right back to reading.
Yep.
Get into the poetry of T.S. Eliot, of which Cats is an adaptation.
Well, yeah, he's pretty like famous as a writer, right? Am I mixing
he
it up?
never intended this.
Okay. That makes sense. This makes more sense as like a quick poem.
It's why there's so many made up words and just like so tragically British sensibilities, I'd say.
Didn't Noah want to talk about anything he's watched? That's what I was waiting for. I thought he was like,
go for it.
Oh yeah. I watched a couple movies. I watched Conclave. I watched Sonora. I'm trying to get into the Oscar vibes.
What'd you think of Conclave?
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
I had a fun time with Conclave. I haven't had a chance to talk about it on the pod yet, though. But that was so far among my favorites of the Best Picture noms I've watched so far. But I haven't watched Sonora yet, so.
Yeah, I would put Sonora above Conclave, but they're both pretty fun rides in different ways. Very different ways.
Yeah, I really want to see Sonora. I'm letting that's sort of like the reward that I get to watch after watching the stuff I don't want to watch. The first of that, the thing I didn't want to watch that much was Emilia Perez, which I watched, and then I rewarded myself by watching The Substance, which I really liked.
Nice.
But yeah, Nora.
What was your opinion on the gore factor?
There is like a couple specifically abdominal things that might not work for you, but it's a lot of back trauma, I would say.
Back trauma was fine. The abdominal stuff, is it like torturous or is it just like something that happens?
I think it's more something that happens, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah. As long as like not people writhing around screaming, I'm normally pretty good. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, they're not like in a tortury way.
I don't know. Just watch it. I feel bad. I feel like I kind of like undersold it to Greg, and he's like, I didn't get through like any of this. I was like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But apparently it's that bad. So I don't know. Just,
I felt pretty similar, but I think there's like specific things that Greg struggled with. I don't know. Maybe he's got a needles thing because there is a lot of needles.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit about needles.
Yeah.
I got tattoos. That'd be a pretty weird stance.
Yeah, good point.
Are you watching Cats every week?
Of course.
You got it. Okay, good.
Yeah. So this is the second time this week, actually, and it's bookending either side of the substance is a few weeks of Cats.
I guess that's a palate cleanse.
Yeah, they're very different, but they have a lot of similarities.
Oh, well, you're just really turning me off from the substance.
Yeah, one's like a pretty like instant classic body horror icon, and the other one is The Substance. It was easy, but we had to do it. I don't know. The stuff in this one isn't good, but we could get into it. Sure. I have seen this movie before, as just discussed. This was my 5th viewing. How about you guys?
First and last.
I guess how most people feel.
Yeah, same. I did get a little. You had showed me and Corey a little bit previously, but yeah, watching it in its entirety, it's my first time. Yeah,
that was the time that we watched like a fairly long, I guess, compilation that was just set to the soundtrack of the newer Suspiria film,
which made more sense, I think.
It fit. It really fit.
Yeah.
And we didn't. I don't think. I remember not realizing that it wasn't the correct music until like pretty far into the clip.
None of us did. We had no idea.
Yeah. Which says more about me since I had seen the actual thing at that point. Sorry, Robbie.
I think that's the second time we've watched videos of Cats then, because I just remember a time at Corey's old apartment, Noah's old apartment, where we watched a bunch of videos of just the different scenes, and I don't think there was any like different music to them.
No, we only did that one time.
Yeah, that was this was the same time.
Okay. Well, I was there. It was terrible.
Yeah, that was actually a time that Robbie and I broke into your apartment on Toby Street, and you guys weren't there.
Oh, that makes more sense.
It was pretty fitting for the movie. We kept calling each other the burglar cat names that I already forgot.
Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser.
Oh yes, of course.
Mungo, is it Mongo or Mungo?
It's unclear.
It's unclear. That's fair.
And that is, of course, just one of 3 potential names of that cat, as we learned.
Oh right, yes. Did we learn any of their like third names, or did they just bring that up and then never talk about it again?
You don't get to know their third names.
Okay, well, I guess I am a human. That's fair.
Yeah, they don't share that with just anybody or anybody. Full stop. Seemingly, I think it's explained that's just for them. That's what they call themselves.
Yeah. It's probably like a wizard thing. If you give them your true name, you have power over them. Which actually brings me to my biggest question, Ben, and I think you know this is coming. But where did the magician cats get their powers? Were they warlocks? Were they sorcerers? Did they have a cat magic school? It was very unclear, and it made me very upset.
It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Obviously, like Mr. Mistopheles seems to come by it honest, but like, where did McCavity get his powers? Why did he live in that boiler room under the school? How does he have the ability to get into children's dreams? It's just like never explained. Was he a demon? I don't know. It's weird they don't get into it.
Yeah,
it was very weird.
With that said, do either of you feel confident in giving us a 1-minute plot summary of the film Cats?
No, not really.
Give me as short as you need it to be.
It's basically just like there's a bunch of stray cats that are doing a talent show, and if they raise $20,000 by the end of the week, they save the school. One of them gets picked to like fuck off in a hot air balloon. I assumed it was to get adopted, but like fuck me for thinking that. That's weird. But then McCavity's stealing cats because he really wants to win, and he doesn't do it. He doesn't get to win. He gets out magicked by the other magic cat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then there's still like 20 plus minutes of the movie. And you're like, okay, what was all that about?
Well, I mean, Judi Dench had to have a singing role. It was weird that she hadn't up until that point. So I guess like put it in there.
Yeah, that ending, not to skip to the ending, but it's pretty interminable how long she's speaking directly to camera and explaining after 100 minutes of the weirdest, the inexplicably horniest cat humans dancing around for like 100 minutes. Then she's like, just so you know, cats aren't dogs. Like,
well, that's
thanks.
the ultimate point. Yeah.
They got that. I will say, like, speaking of the weirdly sexy cats, the only thing I could think throughout this whole movie was, thank God they don't have nipples. And I feel like there was a fight over that between whoever made this movie and everyone else. And he was like, no, they need to have nipples. And he's like, I swear to God, you can't give these things nipples. And likely a reason prevailed.
And yeah, and that's like really the only time. To answer your earlier question, it is different on stage. They have, in an attempt to make it more plotted and to have like a narrative arc, they, I think, have actually made it substantially worse in the movie. So on stage, it is still like the jellicle ball and there's the jellicle choice, whatever. But it's just cats come out, they're like, here's my thing, and then they fuck off. There's no plot about like McCavity stealing, catnapping cats to try to like force a win on a technicality. That doesn't happen. There's also no main character. So the one who can't really sing, but she dances ballet, her name is Victoria, I think.
Yeah.
That's an invented character for the movie that doesn't exist. So I guess if you're getting into cats, you're like, there needs to be some sort of audience surrogate who's just like new to this whole jellicle thing. Just who can ask the questions that the audience has on their mind. But she obviously doesn't ask enough questions to help the audience, but still. So that it isn't part of the stage thing at all.
That makes sense, because it really did feel like they took like the content of a 12.5-minute kids TV show special and stretched it out for an hour and 40 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, if you were just going to watch like good dancing and good songs or whatever that you enjoyed, like I could see that. Like, that's fine. You don't have to try to put this weird plot in there.
Well, yeah. To your point, it is a very dance-heavy show. That's sort of its main thing. And then the song "Memory" that Jennifer Hudson, horrific cat mutant, sings at the end. Yeah, that's pretty much all people care about from the show. Bizarrely, at the time that it closed, was the longest running musical ever. Unclear why.
That's just insane to me, because I don't really even think the songs were that good. I mean, they were fine. I don't get it. Maybe it wasn't for me, you know?
It's very 80s. The music is still very 80s, but the stage makeup also is like very 80s. Everybody kind of looks like Thundercats. That's not what they look like in this film, though. They've CGI'd like tight bodysuits on top of everybody and made them so weirdly smooth. Some of them have shoes, some of them have human hands, some of them have human feet.
I was like, if you're gonna do the CGI, give them paws. It feels weird that there's like these like
weird in between.
Yeah. There's the I don't know. It's an interesting production of the infamously, I guess, it had a horrific production where they changed a lot of things about how the cats are supposed to look, and then supposedly ran out of time and didn't completely finish everything they wanted to. I don't know. I noticed a lot, especially on Judi Dench. Like, it doesn't feel like they finished rendering Judi Dench.
Well, that was the other thing, is like I could tell it was supposed to be like a dance heavy thing, but if it all just looks CGI, I don't get to think like, oh, these people are good dancers. I just think like, oh, somebody made this in CGI. And I'm sure they did like a Gollum thing where they just like CGI'd over the actors' bodies and didn't actually just like program their movements or whatever. But it just, I don't know, I feel like it takes away from it.
I'd agree. The way the camera cuts every 2 seconds and is shaking the whole time also makes it sort of hard to see the dancing. Anyway, this guy, yeah. What was your favorite part?
I think I liked when the
No, go ahead.
I think I like the part where the cats are like breaking in and stealing all the shit. Like, I don't know, that felt like the most like things a cat would do, even though they wouldn't steal things, but like just breaking into a house and making a mess. So it's like, yeah, I can see that. That's cats.
Yeah, that actually has some, you know, I don't want to say like the plot's moving all of a sudden, but it is like, oh, there's like stuff happening. And there's like there's like a game kind of on screen of like, oh, okay, these cats, like they're not really some of like the nicer cats, and they've got a thing, and now there's a thing happening.
That's, I guess it is the only part that felt like it had like stakes. Like, oh, they're gonna get caught, and like they did get caught. Like a dog came in, and like there was actually like moving, moving parts to it.
Yeah. But of course, you're like so wrapped with attention, just like, oh man, who gets to go to the heaviside lair? I can't wait to find out who the jellicle choice is. Noah, what was your favorite part?
Actually didn't mind the the rum tub tuggers number.
Well, he's a curious cat, much like you. So
He is. That's probably why. It's a very relatable character.
yeah,
No, I thought the guy actually had a really good voice. Whoever it was.
that's pop star Jason Derulo.
Was it really? It's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rum tum tugger.
Yeah.
Is that him in there right now? In the
I'm surprised Discord let that one through, since it just sounded exactly like an actual cat again.
Oh man. Yeah, that was the other thing. Whatever they did with their CGI, I like would pause the screen and Amazon tells you who's on
No
screen.
pun
And I'm like,
intended.
but I'm like, what
Some
the
good cat
like? I can't recognize these very well-known celebrities except for Idris Elba. He was just Idris Elba, but like everybody else, I'm just like, you're supposed to be super famous. I should recognize you.
I had kind of a hard time myself. Judi Dench, I got. James Corden, I got. Ian McKellen, I got. Which actually, I liked him in it too. I feel like he can't be bad at like any acting. You could like put him in anything, and he's gonna still.
Yeah, it is a real test case for like, legendary great actor trying to make terrible material work. And I think his first line in the movie is meow meow meow.
It was it was just like that.
And you're like, he kind of nailed it. And then right before his song starts, he's like in a back room lapping milk out of a large bowl. And you're like, that man shouldn't have to do this.
I hope that wasn't CGI. They actually had him lap up milk.
No, that he insisted. He brought that bowl from home. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was practicing with that bowl just in his day-to-day life leading up to the shooting, I bet.
I was convinced at the end there when he was like on the gangplank pushing the other guy off, he was going to be making a Gandalf reference. I was like so waiting for it, and it was so close, but it just wasn't quite there.
Like what? Like a "You Shall Not Pass" or something?
Or like a "Fly, you fools." Like he had a very like Gandalf, like when he turned back after and like he fell into the water. It was very like I could almost see the Gandalf in him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that he didn't reference that movie, but then he did like kill the villain by slowly pushing like a metal coin through his head.
He did do that.
Yeah, it's weird that he did that. It's like why reference X-Men if you're not going to do Lord of the Rings?
That's a good point.
Well, they had Gambit there. He was just fucking McCracken or whatever his name was.
Yeah, it was McCracken.
Why were the names so complicated too? That was one gripe I had with it.
Yeah, well, those are their second names, right? Because there's like the beginning where they're like, oh yeah, when the family's like that. And that's another point. A lot of these cats aren't unhoused. They're just sort of like out for the night. It's just the jellicle ball happens to be happening now. So this is like, yeah, it's just like part of their club get together once a year. Yes, okay. Anyway, and they have like normal names, but then they would call themselves like, Rum Tum Tugger. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite name that anyone had? I think just like this is how these episodes have to go. Is I have to just do like exit surveys.
I think that was.
I mean,
I wrote down.
It's gotta be Rum Tum Tugger.
I think it's gotta be. What was
Yeah,
what was he tugging though?
Oh,
you know.
you gotta get on Urban Dictionary for that information.
Should do some research.
That's probably like a fun game. Like see how many entries or how many hits there are for the various names of these cats on Urban Dictionary and what their definitions are.
Probably a lot. I imagine he probably has a lot. Tum
Yeah.
tugging, tum tuggery.
Well, I mean, that's pretty easy. A Rum Tum Tugger is when you give yourself a hand job and then just finish on your stomach.
I know that had a name.
Does now.
Now I know.
That's what that song's about.
It could have been. Honestly, it could have been.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much yeah.
Did you look, was he
Yeah, did
right?
you look
Did you
it
look
up?
up? No, not
Uh,
one of them.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Is there something gross after that? Do you have to like sleep in it or something?
It's just not. It's not a solo act.
Oh, okay.
I said only according to Rum Tum Dictionary, Urban Dictionary is what I meant to say.
Check the Rum Tum Dictionary.
Let's get the Rum Tum. Yeah.
Oh.
That Magneto reference is all I had this time. So.
Okay, I looked it up.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's actually not as imaginative as I thought it would be.
What was your favorite song?
Oh, so many, so many hits.
They just kept coming. So speaking of like the CGI and the not animating and making it hard to connect, I guess I last time I said this, they were cowards for this, but I guess in retrospect, if they were going to do a bad job, then it's probably best that they just put the cat who does the most dancing in pants and boots, so they didn't have to worry about making his legs cat-like. That's of course Skimbleshanks, the railway cat who does his tap dancing.
Oh, okay.
Bizarrely, all of the cats in that song have shoes on, and then they don't again. I don't know.
Oh, to answer your question, I had to think. My song. I liked the Mr. Mephisto one where they're trying to bring Judi Dench back.
Yep.
That was decent.
Were you rooting for him?
Oh yeah, love a good underdog. He reminded me of Elijah Wood. Don't ask me to explain that, but I just kept thinking it was Elijah Wood the whole time.
They have similar eyes, I think.
Wait, the magic guy wasn't Elijah Wood?
No, it's just some guy.
Oh, I also thought it was Elijah Wood.
I thought you were gonna make a joke there, but yeah,
I
he
thought it
looked
was.
like.
I think he's taller than Elijah Wood. For some reason, Elijah Wood is short in my mind.
Well, he is, but all these things are like 2 feet tall.
Unclear. The scale is another thing that I and many others bounce off of, that it seems to, scene to scene, not know how big the cats are supposed to be in relation to everyday objects. It sort of gives me vertigo.
Yeah, the boat seemed way too big, right? Or like they seemed way too big, like they were full size for the boat.
They were just normal human size on the boat. When they were on the railway track, they were like the size of mice. It was awful. I think the Rebel Wilson, who plays Jenny Anydots, who has my least favorite song in it, where she's like eating cockroaches.
Oh, hated that.
Yeah, I made
It's
note
not
of that.
good. Yeah, I bet
It's
you did.
not normal cat behavior.
Yeah, no, she has the most scale issues, I think, and also has a moment where she like rips her skin off and has different skin on underneath that I don't.
I think they did that
like.
twice.
Yeah, she does it twice. She does do that twice.
It was
It's not
uncomfortable
fun.
both times.
It's not fun. Yeah, I should have warned you about that. That's technically like the zipper's in front, so.
No, the thing that bothered me not bothered me, but when that song came on, I was like, man, how much acid do you have to be doing for this to either be made or be watched? Like, seriously, this is a trip.
the hubris involved. This is a Tom Hooper film. His previous 3 movies all won Oscars: King's Speech, Les Mis, and The Danish Girl. And
This
yeah,
this is that guy.
this is that same guy. And then he made this. He hasn't made other movies since. This came out in late 2019, arguably caused the pandemic, but inarguably was a lot of folks' last movie they saw in theaters for like over a year.
Oh,
Ooh.
there's the death of theater right there.
Yeah.
Wait, when did was this through Ian McKellen's last film?
This has to be somebody's last film, but I think he's been in stuff, right?
Is James Corden still around?
No, James Corden. He was put to, he got what he deserved. He's not allowed.
Put to sleep.
Yeah, they put him down. He got put down.
Can't say I'm surprised. It's too
Yeah.
bad though.
It's fine. Just cast Jesse Plemons in anything you would cast James Corden in.
It's weird. James
He's
Corden,
too
I mentioned like production was kind of a nightmare on this, but there's like an anecdote if you look on their Wikipedia page that James Corden showed up on set just like covered in trash, and they were like, "Oh, when did you get in costume?" And he was like, "What do you mean in costume? I don't even know who I'm playing."
Oh man,
He's just constantly eating trash.
it's weird they got that on the wiki.
And that's not a weight joke, because I wouldn't do that. That's just he sucks as a person joke.
Oh man.
To answer your question, Ian McKellen's been doing a lot of stage acting recently.
I thought he. Why did I think he died? It's
I
not-
was
he's
going
still
to say,
alive.
it sounds like you think he died, and I'm not
I
going
think
to
he
assume that.
There was some other old guy, that esteemed actor, right, that died.
Wait a minute. He's been doing a lot of stage action, but it says it's in the musical version of Weekend at Bernie's, so maybe he's... So actually he did die. There's just, I'm kidding. Yeah, he plays Bernie. They just sort of prop him up on stage.
That's a true actor.
Jokes.
Even after your death.
If it makes you feel better, Noah, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine like a while back, and they did that like clip at the end where they show all the actors from X-Men and they have like the sad music. And I had to Google if Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart were still alive, because like I assumed one of them had died or something, because like that's just the vibe I get from it.
It does make me feel better. Yeah,
But no, they're both alive.
That's good. That's good. I'm telling you, there's someone else that passed away recently, but I don't know who it was.
Oh, it was
I'm sure.
the dude that I was mentioning, Ben. What the hell? The 79-year-old guy. It was like we talked about it last time we were at Greg and Ray's.
David Lynch?
Is that who you're thinking of, Noah?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well,
They
he
were
died.
both old.
But speaking of David Lynch, I think if they change the music and change a few things, this could be a David Lynch film.
Yeah, it's like it's like more unpleasant to watch than Eraserhead. Like it's it's a bizarre film. So I'm curious, like going into this, like obviously it has a lot of cultural baggage, even for a movie that flopped as hard as it did, and obviously doesn't matter to any of our day-to-day lives. But what did you already know about this going in, and what surprised you about watching it?
I just knew it was about cats. It's like the only thing I knew about it.
Okay, well, you
and
got cats.
I got cats. I don't know, just how how weird it was. Like I feel like it as a play is probably, I assume, probably like so much different than whatever this was. But yeah, I guess I didn't expect like such heavy like CGI. Like it felt like the Polar Express or something like that.
Yeah, like a weird hybrid of there's some people that are essentially like 90% CGI in this with just their faces sort of floating in a not super connected to how their body is moving way. And it is like so squarely the example of Uncanny Valley, I think, in most people's minds
Mm.
of things that like, except, and it's weird because they weren't trying to make them look human. They certainly weren't trying to make them look like cats either. It's just like, it's just weird. It's
So,
just
yeah,
weird.
it's a weird in between.
I said on the last episode that I almost needed afterwards, like as a palate cleanser, a photo of a cat to be like, what do cats actually look like? Are their tails 10 times the length of their bodies? Are their ears in the middle of the top of their heads, or are they where ears usually are? Because it's just not, I don't know. I don't think these are what cats look like either. Never mind humans.
I was watching it with my cat, and I had to keep doing that, just like looking over and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, you look like that. You don't look like whatever this is.
Yeah, I fully forgot like what cat tails look like and do, and they're not monkey tails. They don't like indicate with them and like grab things, or
They don't use
I
them
don't
as like a microphone, stuff like
they
that.
they typically don't use them as a microphone. Yeah, Robbie, how about you? What did you know about this going in?
Basically that I knew that it was like a pretty successful play. I didn't have like an idea of the scope of it, that it was like the longest running, but I was like, I feel like this is a very well received, like people very much enjoy this play. And then I had all of those YouTube clips we watched, and I was thinking like, okay, so those clips didn't really make any sense, but surely the movie will tie them together and I'll understand why this seems so disjointed and unconnected. And it didn't do that.
Yeah, even though this tries to graft a plot and a through line on top, are you still surprised that like a major motion picture with a lot of money put into it was allowed to be released with this much disconnect scene to scene between anything happening?
That's in like the ending, especially like McCavity's second in command just like sings
Growl
one
Tiger,
song.
please show him some
Growl.
respect.
No, not Growl Tiger. The one that wins. Isn't that the one that was like singing at the end that gets the jellicle choice?
Um, so it's implied that Grisabella at some point was absconded for with McCavity and then came back some version of ruined. I suppose she was formerly a glamour cat, but they say she's all messed up now because of some time she spent with McCavity, I guess. So it's unclear structurally what position she had in his criminal organization.
I'm just like, who is this bitch and why did she win? Like, it just didn't feel like it was set up, or that it like resolved something, or that it was like, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like Victoria, I guess. I don't know. That seemed like not the logical, but the like formulaic choice. I don't know.
Victoria wasn't even eligible. She's not made a full-fledged jellicle until the end of the film.
Well, good, and we all know what it means to be a jellicle cat.
We
now.
all
I feel
know.
like that's been settled.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how clearly defined like each group of cats were. Like the Gumby cats were like,
Yeah. They kind of chill. Yeah. Yeah.
eat roaches.
They carry around like a showbiz suitcase with a tiny stage.
Maybe like the cat that saved old Deuteronomy. Maybe he gets to win since he like saved the fucking day. I don't know.
Since
Allegedly.
he did real magic.
Okay, thanks. Now we can choose the real winner, you loser. Get back to your stage magic.
My question for you: who do you think? And I agree with what I think you're going to say. Who do you think should have been the jellicle choice? And is it Mr. Misopheles? Yeah,
for sure. Mr. Misopheles is the logical choice there.
it seems like he's earned it the most. I don't know.
Was that Ian McKellen? Oh no, he was the magic.
Yeah, the magic guy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
yeah.
He did the most good, I guess.
He did actual magic, but he apparently has a terrible soul because that's what she's judging.
Well, and then like he actually he had like a mini character arc as much as anyone in the movie can have a character arc. Like he actually like overcame something and like succeeded. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like the jellicle choice gets to go to the heaviside lair in the flying chandelier or hot air balloon or whatever, and is reborn to the life they wanted or deserved or something. So I guess you could argue like Mr. Mistopheles, like he's cool. He's gotten like he can do actual magic now. He's got some self-confidence. Seems like maybe he has a new girlfriend. So he's chill. He doesn't need to die anymore. But Chrisabella must be. She must die.
I guess that's my problem. I didn't get the whole heaven sickle layer or whatever. I thought it was like they got adopted. I assumed all these cats were gonna get like like a home. But I guess some of them had a home. You did mention that. So
yeah, where else are they getting those Chuck Taylors that a couple of them are wearing?
Maybe it was like a sacrifice thing. Like they had to be like pure of heart. It's like,
yeah, it feels when they're ushering her into the basket of the contraption and they're all saying like up up up. It does feel very Midsommar, I'd say. Yeah, it's a bit ritualistic.
You're spoiling cats too when they have to take revenge on old Deuteronomy for sacrificing them to the old gods. It's going to be so much weirder and animated the same.
Oh, cats too.
I like it. I mean, it writes itself, right? Like obvious, like old Deuteronomy was chosen from this generation, but she's obviously about to be the jellicle choice herself, so to speak, because she's up there in years. And so has to like train a new person and like has to reveal all the secrets of like they don't go to the heaviside layer isn't what you think it is.
It's the Chinese food restaurant.
No. Get to see behind the scenes.
Yeah. If you were of the, and I do like that, like they come in and it seems like if you're a jellicle, you can be the jellicle choice, but there's only about 5 or 6 a year that are throwing their hats in the ring. Maybe. If you were vying to be the jellicle choice, what would your talent be at the talent show?
Maybe like hanging myself with a ball of yarn. I don't know.
That's pretty good. It's gonna be some cat pun way of killing yourself or something.
No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm good at.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess if I want to go with the book theme, I'd be like the librarian cat.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. What kind of cat would you sing about being?
Because they don't really have talents. They just kind of sing about what they.
Yeah. Here's my deal. Here's my thing. That's a good point. Yeah. I personally like, I don't feel like, I don't really have the juice to be the jellicle choice right now. I'd have to be a little more tragic or something, I think. I don't know. I can see why none of them wanted Grisabella there though, because like she's obviously a shoo-in with her like comeback story. I assume that's why they were all so mean to her. They're like, if she competes, we're fucked. She's got this shit wrapped up the second she walks in the door. How much more blood can we get from this stone? Let's see.
Although I guess by that logic, McCavity should have been the choice, right? Like he's kind of a dickhead, so like, yeah, come back as a new cat, asshole. We don't like you.
Yeah.
He could have like maybe like killed one of the other cats and put their skin on, maybe, and then that way.
Or just taking what's her face's skin suit she leaves lying around everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, technically he's done that because when Taylor Swift comes in, she does note that McCavity has broken every human law. So
Taylor
So-
Swift was in this film.
yeah, she's the one that sings about McCavity. She comes in on like a crescent moon and drugs everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, classic Taylor Swift.
Yep. That was soon to be Super Bowl attendee Taylor Swift in the film Cats. The one song that the character I noted doesn't exist in the stage version, she sings one song about beautiful ghosts that's like deeply terrible. Since that character wasn't in the original stage version, that song is also newly written by Taylor Swift in an attempt to, you needed to have an actual new song in your production to be eligible for a best song Oscar.
Did this win any Oscars?
It did not get nominated.
It was somehow nominated for a Golden Globe, I noticed. I don't really know how that works out.
I don't know. That was the before times when the Golden Globes were about 40 goofy people that just like took direct bribes for nominations.
The good old days.
Yeah. Yeah, that only changed like 3 years ago.
Oh man.
And yet it's considered important again. Well, I don't know why they're allowed to be relevant again. Oh well.
Hey, they're good at giving bribes. They took some of that bribe money and bribed somebody else.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could see them being like actually a huge cog in the economy or something. It's like, no, they distribute those bribes to like really good causes. You don't understand. Like the trains stop working if they don't get their bribes.
I love capitalism.
Yeah. For the record, all of those people that were weird in the Golden Globes then, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, they're all gone, and now there's like hundreds of new people voting for the Golden Globes. And it's like, why even call it the same thing? Who knows? All to say, yeah. So would you recommend this film?
I would not recommend this film.
I'd recommend you don't watch this film.
I think that's fair. Do you ever, for fun, watch bad movies? Or if not, imagine that you do. Would this ever enter the rotation of like a thing you'd show other people just to see their reaction?
Maybe like a scene or two, like you did. I think if I were to do it, that's how I would do it. And I like bad stuff, but I feel like this is like in a different category. I don't know.
Yeah, having watched it twice in the last 50 hours, I feel like it's not. I don't know
what it is.
It doesn't know what it is. The like so bad it's fun vibe runs out, I think, right around James Corden. And that's when I like check to see how much time's left, and I'm like, oh no, it's only a fourth of the way into the movie.
Yeah.
For y'all, was any part of this like so bad it's fun, or just fun? And when did it run out, if it was? And did it come back?
No, I really had to force myself to watch this one. I did it in 2 separate sittings.
Ooh. You gotta go like a Band-Aid. Yeah.
Just raw dog. I raw dogged it. I just went through. I did. There was a few scenes I skipped. If it was a musical number, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I get it.
This is hard enough. I can skip like 5 or 10 minutes here.
Well, like thinking through it, like just try to remember scenes. I realized like the movie starts with Victoria being like thrown out of a car in a bag, and that just never comes back. It's never mentioned. It's never referenced. Like
she's fine. She immediately accepts her fate and is like, so this is my family now. Okay.
Just like within the first 30 seconds, and I don't know. I guess I just realized I had been waiting for that to get resolved, and it just didn't.
Also, like, great timing that she happens to be abandoned on the night of the Jellicle Ball, which they say only happens once a year. But all of these cats are coming from different places. Only a few of them, if any, seem to be like legit strays. They're all from different parts of the city. So where does she go? Like at the end of the last song, all the cats leave in different directions, and they're like, "See you next year."
Well, that's why she had to hook up with one of these guys. She needs to place the
That's true. That's true.
Hopefully, Mr. Mistopheles was a stray, but he didn't really. I think he had it was one of the ones with a collar, so that's going to be an awkward conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Were there any performances? Like, was there anyone doing enough with the material that you were like, okay, like I at least am appreciating what the effort that they're putting in. Like you mentioned Jason Derulo's Rum Tum Tugger, Ian McKellen, Gus the Theater Cat, short for asparagus. I don't know that. I don't know. There's not a lot. There's not a lot. Jennifer Hudson's good. It's just she just only is in like the last couple minutes, and it's just sort of on the fringes in the background for the rest of the movie, and then gets to die.
None of it seems memorable is the problem to me. Like I just watched this like last night, and then this afternoon for lunch is when I finished it, and I can't think of any of the performances off the top of my head.
It's funny. I think unintentional. That was a great joke though, because I mentioned Jennifer Hudson, and her big song is "Memory." So it's funny that you can't remember any of the songs.
Yes, that was the joke I was making.
It was good.
Oh, but to answer your question of if I'd show this to people, I wouldn't sit down and watch it, but I would do the thing that Greg and I used to do after we watched The Mist, and we told everybody it had a really good ending. You need to watch it because the ending was so good. And I do something similar with Cats. I just talk about how great it was, and like you need to watch through the ending, and like then you'll really get it. And then when they're like, "Why did you do that to me?" I just laugh at them.
Say The Mist is like a more successful narrative.
No, it is. But the ending, no,
yeah,
it's a really good
it's a
movie.
rug pull. It's definitely
But
a
the end
bummer.
is so brutal. And like to tell people, oh, the end's so great. Like you just wait till you get to the end.
Do I have to watch The Mist now?
Oh, you do.
You're gonna love the ending.
It's a really good movie.
I heard the ending was great.
You're gonna love it.
It's just what I heard. I don't
know. All right. I think we could bring this one in for a landing.
Yeah.
On a scale of 0.5 to 5, on any scale of your choosing aside from stars, what would you give Tom Hooper's 2019 film Cats?
This is a 0.5 for me. This might be the lowest one I've ever rated.
I was gonna say that's generous. I was gonna ask if it went to 0.
I think on Letterboxd I can't put a 0, but okay. I also haven't logged these on Letterboxd in like 2 years.
Well, I'll do a 0.5 because to be fair, there were some decent performances, even if I can't remember them.
Yeah, but they were in there.
They were in there. Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
I'm sure they were in there.
They were in there.
Oh, they got in there. Okay. Of what? 0.5 what out of 5?
Oh, hairballs.
Hairballs? Yeah. Noah, what was your noun?
Rum Tum Tuggers.
Yeah, that's good.
Not the cat, though. The other thing.
No, the thing we discussed before.
Yeah, for me, it's this one's a 1 out of 5 jellicle moons that are shining bright. The question this month is probably going to change every week, but at least part of the question this month is define jellicle.
Fuck.
God, they talk so much about what it was, and I couldn't tell you one thing that they said it was.
Well, it's not dogs.
It's not dogs. Jellicle is not dogs. That's for sure.
It's just like a playful little asshole. Final answer.
Or like an old guy.
You're lapping up that milk. He was a playful little asshole.
Yeah, he's a bit of a scamp. You're right.
I don't know.
That it's fine. Is what it is.
It's not. No, it's not a dog. It's not a dog.
You gotta watch the movie again until you know what jellicle is.
Yeah, it was in one of the scenes you skipped, so you got to go back.
They stopped the film and gave a clear definition.
Listen. All right, it's been about an hour. We could sense you, the audience member, has some questions, so we're just going to do a quick round table. Scan the QR code if you want to submit questions.
Honestly, I Googled what jellicle was probably about 40 minutes into the movie or so, and it just gave me like an answer referencing the poem, and I was like, well, this is unrelated. I was like, what does some random guy's poem have to do with this? And it was just like, it's a made-up term that was invented in like C.S. Lewis's or whoever it was. I don't know if I did that right, but you know what I mean.
T.S. Eliot.
T.S. Eliot. Whatever.
Initial, last name, British man.
If you want to like squeeze the ending in there where it goes up into heaven in a hot balloon, they're like angelical cats.
That would make sense. That would make sense. But I think it's just dumb.
It's too much sense for this movie.
Yeah, just slightly. Okay. Well, I think we nailed it.
I think so. So you're doing this 2 more times?
Yeah, this was the halfway point.
Why have you done this to yourself?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably funny seeing like other people's reaction to it, especially if they haven't seen it before. Yeah.
That's why I asked, because like that's why I'm doing this. Is you were like, I do it like you did it, where we just watched clips. It's like, nah, man, I made you watch the whole movie just now.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, there's your thing you sing about. I've watched Cats 4 times. And they're like, oh my god, get in the balloon.
Yeah, I did. You're a menace to society. Get in the balloon. Yeah, I'd probably sort of do it with like the air of like Ian McKellen's kind of talk singing like I'm old and kind of fragile. And he's like, I used to be cool, but now I make everybody watch Cats. But back in my day, not everyone hated me. That said, thanks so much for being on this episode, you guys.
Yeah, sure.
No problem.
Thanks, guys. You can find our stuff at Linktree, linktr.ee/late to the movies. We'll see you next week for Checks Notes 2019's Cats. Why? Yeah, we're doing it again.
See you there.
See ya.